My name is Daniel Murray, and this course is titled Revolution and Revolt, Political Writing for Political Action. 2011 was a big year for political action. Politics took to the streets all over the world.
Some of them changed the world. The protests that began in Tunisia rolled through Egypt and continued in Libya, brought down governments and deposed dictators. And there's praise too for those on the streets in Europe. The Occupy demonstrations, which have taken root in many cities across the US, this was change demanded, created and achieved by the people.
In this course, we're going to look at the discourse that surrounds political movements. This is the messages the movements put out themselves, the media's interpretation of politics, and scholarly writing about political issues. But we're also going to have a chance to look at some pretty complex political arguments, to see how they're structured, what makes them tick, and to see how they're used as political rallying cries. Texts like the Declaration of Independence or the Communist Manifesto have functioned like this in history. Some of the great projects in the past have come from students who've been politically active. One student who was active in the LGBT community on campus used the course as an opportunity to think and write about a campaign that they were engaged in at the time called the National Marriage Boycott. Other students who weren't politically active have found interests that have found topics to write about that match their interests. Students have written about music and film and their relationship to politics. Others have written about technology, things like the women's movement or national independence movements, queer liberation and gay rights, civil rights, immigrant rights, Occupy Wall Street. You don't have to be a political activist or a political theorist to be involved in this course. Whether we realize it or not, we're involved in politics. I believe that education is if not the key to a just, free, democratic society. Learning to think critically, to analyze arguments, to make arguments of our own, that's how we begin to build a society.